Good morning, everybody. It's a Monday morning, and last week we looked at the doctrine of Christ. I want us to look at that again this week. And one of the things that we looked at last week was really 5 names or titles that are applied to Christ. And we mentioned that he is the Lamb of God, meaning he's our sacrifice and our substitute. We mentioned that Christ is our mediator, the one who mediates in our relationship between man and God. We mentioned that Christ is our righteousness, that he was the perfect sinless Lamb of God. And we mentioned that he is also life itself. He's the source of life. And then he's also the rightful Lord over that life. Well, this week I want us to think about some other titles that are applied to Christ. And one of those titles that we see early on goes way back in Exodus, where Moses is meeting with God on Mount Sinai. And Moses asks a basic question: God, what's your name? You know, if I'm going to go back and talk to people, I need to know who I'm talking about. And God simply says, my name is Yahweh, or I am who I am. Some have translated this as God saying, I am the self-existent one. That means that he's not dependent on anyone else for his existence. Now, all of us are dependent upon someone for our existence. But this same name is really applied to Jesus in the New Testament, because at several points in the Gospel of John, John records Jesus saying, I am the vine, I am the good shepherd. All of the I am statements that you find throughout the Gospel of John. So John is telling us something. But it's interesting also that there's another passage in the Old Testament that I think is related to this idea. And we find that in Isaiah chapter 7 and verse 14, where there the prophet Isaiah records, the virgin will be with child, and they shall call his name Emmanuel, or God with us. Well, we come to the New Testament, and in the very first chapter of Matthew, we find this name again when and the angel is talking to Joseph, and right after that, the angel tells Mary that, or tells Joseph that his wife is a virgin. And then Matthew quotes this passage from Isaiah. Now, if that is speaking of God with us, it means then that the self-existent one, the great I am, back in Genesis 3:14, I guess it is, now has entered into time, because now it is God with us. So that name tells us something about Jesus, that he is God in human flesh. He has entered into our existence as the self-existent one. It means that eternity has entered into history. It means that God has entered into the time and space that he created. The Creator has entered into his creation. So in a way, it might be like when the author of a book appears within the book. That's kind of what is happening when Jesus shows up. It is God, the author of life, who has now entered into life. Well, that's some thoughts to think about as far as who Jesus is. We're going to take this a little further this week, but something to think about on a Monday. And I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye for now. God bless.